Good morning, everybody. I don't usually just do a recording, but I'm literally just now awake. You might even be able to hear it in my voice. The reason why I wanted to is because I wanted to get a hold of the essence of the raw message, if you will, download, channeling, whatever you would like to call it. Yesterday, the day before that, pretty much every day since this shift that is occurring right now, that many of us are experiencing, has been somewhat like surfing in really bad weather. And I've used the terminology of surfing before because I'm akin to it. And I don't know if you've ever surfed, but when you are surfing in the ocean during riptides and the red flag is up telling you that you don't need to be out there, the black flag, yeah, they have a red ball, a black ball, they have different colored balls or flags, whatever you want to call them, that the lifeguards put up to let you know the conditions of the water. So what happens when you're surfing in that kind of water, when you do not listen to the lifeguard, which is so beautiful, the guard of life. And who is the guard of life? The I am presence, the Christedness that's within us all. Isn't that beautiful? I just love how these things come about. When you don't listen to the lifeguard and you're surfing in the water when it's under these conditions, the riptides will shred you. You'll be out there on top of that wave thinking you've got it. Hence, I'm talking about myself right now. This last few days, that's been me. I've been out there in this riptide thinking I got it. Because looking at the lifeguard going, I'm an experienced surfer. I don't need to listen to that. I can handle this. And I tell you right now, there is no surfer that's experienced enough to try to surf the riptide when it's out. And they call it a riptide for a reason, because what it does is you get on top of it, you think, and then it grabs you and it rips you underneath its immense inertia and just tumbles you and tumbles you and tumbles you, and you have no idea which way is up. And you get stuck in that process. And if you don't understand how this mechanism works, it will take you down and you will never come out again. Hence, in the earth story, that would mean you were dead. You would breathe water and you would release your body. You would be dead. Happens lots. I use that analogy for what just occurred because that's what it felt like to me. That's how the experience felt. And I've had many siblings reaching out and sharing with me that they are feeling all kinds of different things. Now, albeit I will admit that this last run has not felt that aggressive as a riptide. It's felt more like kind of a hazy, foggy out-of-body experience, not really feeling like you know where you're at in time. For some, that's how it's felt. And for me, for whatever reason, I engaged in some behaviors that were around me and was not aware of it. So basically what I did was ignore the lifeguard and try to surf the riptide. Perfect. Absolutely intended. Not negating or, resisting the fact that any of it was. Because it's brought me to this now moment. Now, yesterday I made a video. I'm probably going to take it down. For those who saw it already, they were meant to see it. It's done and over. I jumped into a reach out in the midst of that. I just got this image of, I've been caught in riptides, and if you come to the surface of the water, you're looking around to see if the lifeguard sees you, because you know you're in trouble. This is so hilarious because it absolutely fits how I felt and how I feel right now, and how I'm grateful. And the lifeguard is within you in this scenario. This is God, whatever you want to call it, your I am presence. A term that I have heard and I really love is that twin-flamed cell of the heart of God. each one of us in this thing that we're doing here on earth are the twin flamed cell of the heart of God. And that was put out by, I don't know who does those, but it was just it's a term that was on the Voice of the Wisdom channel. And I really like it. It resonates with me. So that being said, yesterday I had some conversations with beloveds, and we all were, talking back and forth about the experiences we were having. And I had one in particular reach out to me, and this beloved knows who they are. And I'm grateful that you reached out to me with how you were feeling, and I responded how I was feeling. And it wasn't very helpful, actually, still being kind of tossed in that riptide. But I did say to this beloved that when I go to sleep tonight, I'm going to request that all of my team, all the angels, all the ancestors, all the beloveds that are a part of my story, send me something that will be assistive and helpful in this moment. And as a matter of fact, when I went to sleep last night, I was so tired and just so discombobulated that I fell asleep before I remembered to intentionally ask that. Now, of course, it was a heart thing, so that intention was still there. But I did wake up at 2:22 in the morning, and I remembered that I was going to do that, and I didn't. So before I dozed back off to sleep, I said, by the way, guys, I totally forgot this, and I put that out there, and I fell asleep. Woke up this morning, still feeling that discombobulation. It's a very old word. It's just like it sounds. It's all disconnected. You're bobbling around. I just felt like I was everywhere. And how that looks, I'll explain it to you. I felt an anxious turmoil within my stomach, and that's your Dantian, your sacred center, that center of your being, your force, your will, your heart, whatever you would like to call that. I just felt a dis-ease, an uneasiness, a sense of doom, a feeling of dread. Just these things were what I was feeling within my body, my physical body. And in my emotional body, I was having a response to that, feeling as if everything was not going to be okay. And that's how I woke up, feeling the same way I did yesterday. And it would subside a little here and there, and then it would rise again. And so, once again, very much like riptides when you're surfing. Or swimming. If you don't surf, if you swim in a riptide, you're going to have the same thing happen. What it is the bottom layer of water is moving ferociously fast one way when the top part of the water is moving the other way. And it happens when that wave crashes. It does a 380. Is it a 380 or 360? It's a 380, right? I can't remember. But it turns the 180. Is that what it is? I can't remember. Like I said, I'm not even awake yet. Anyways, it turns directly around and rolls. So that means the top part is pushing you and the bottom part is pulling you. And that's what a riptide is. And that's what is occurring right now in this shift, my loves. The top part is pulling you in a loving, gentle, beautiful expression of, come towards me, my love, this is the way. And the bottom part is pushing you, grabbing at you, doing its best to pull you back into the undertow so that you do not see the light. And earlier in the video, I did say to you, in this analogy of surfing, that if you don't know how to handle it, you will meet your demise. How you handle it is you completely let go. Don't try to swim. Don't try to solve the problem. You just completely relax every bit of your body from head to toe. You have to be very mindful in the midst of this. Wow, this is highly spiritual surfing. Wow. Okay. Anyways, you have to completely let go. And then you have to open your eyes in the salt water, which can sting. Not only can, but does. And look for the light. Because the light is the direction that you want to go. Oh my goodness. I've talked about surfing before, but I've never went back into my head and remembered one of my surfing days when I got caught in a riptide. And so you have to completely let go. Your only chance of surviving this is to do this. And then as soon as you see the light, if you do not feel your body begin to float towards that light, which in some occurrences, it will happen because you'll hit a lull in that riptide and you'll naturally go towards the top, and then you can assist yourself with a little swimming action. But if that doesn't happen, if you don't feel your body begin to float to that light, then you can use your inertia to move towards that light. And that is the surface. That is life. That is how you are going to manage this riptide. The idea is to listen to the lifeguard and never get caught in the riptide in the first place. That's what I chose, was I did not listen to the lifeguard. It wasn't intentional. I didn't wake up and say, I'm just not going to listen to, the wisdom of my inner I am presence today and see what happens. Not that at all. It just occurred. And because I am in this human flesh avatar, just like everyone else, we are all one. We are all in this together. We are all the same, beautiful, perfect beloveds. All of us. Not one of us special, not one of us better, higher, lower than the other, any of those sort of things. There are gradients in this existence, but we ourselves are that one. So it wasn't intentional, but nonetheless it occurred. So when I woke up, this is what I received. Now I gave you that whole analogy, and in itself it's beautiful, it's wonderful. It's pretty much the message that I received. But the message I received for this now moment is this shift, much like a riptide, because there is an upward movement that would expose the light to you, and then there's this downward moment that would like to pull you back underneath and keep you in this riptide instead of being the one who sees the light and surfaces. That inertia right now, we've been going through shift after shift after shift. This shift, since this last phase that we went through, and for me, marked by this last full blood moon in Scorpio, which you can look that up and find out why that's very important. During a Mercury retrograde, the heavens are displaying what's occurring for us so that we can see them and we can be led in this earth story, which happens all the time. The most significant time in my heart is when the Magi followed the star to the birth of Yeshua. The heavens are always at our disposal, always showing us things just enough ahead of time for us to be in a sense of preparedness for it. So that being said, this shift that we're in right now, the reason why we're experiencing what we're experiencing, and it may look different to you, but it makes you feel like, WTF. It makes you feel like this doesn't make any sense. It can make you feel like, I've already done this. I've already been here. This is something I've solidified within my heart. Why is this happening? I don't get it. I don't understand. How could I be feeling this? All these different things. Or it might just make you feel out of body, like you can't get your thoughts together, like you're very absent-minded, you forget things. There's lots of ways it can be affecting you, but you know what I'm talking about if you're hearing this and it resonates. What is occurring is an absolute shift split, if you will. And I use the terms lower vibrational and higher vibrational not as gradients of value or worth or importance or that you're right or wrong. You are exactly where you're supposed to be, end of story. So that being said and that being clarified, the vibrations are just moving at different speeds. Low and high means super, super fast and a little bit slower. Once again, fast is not better, slower is not better. Neither one of them are worse or better. It's just a way that vibration works. So that's what I mean when I say that. Right now, these opposing vibrations, only opposing one another because they're moving at different speeds. Everything is as it should be. But this is what's occurring. And depending on where you are at vibrationally, this is affecting you because you're moving very aggressively into your path. Not bad, not good, not better than your brother or sister, not worse than your brother or sister, your path. And that's what's occurring right now. So, That is the answer that I received from the beloveds while I slept. Do not get caught up in the illusion at this point in any way, shape, or form. I just did. I got caught up in the illusion by casting judgment first upon myself, of course, and then automatically, when you cast judgment upon yourself, it projects out into those around you. And I got caught in that riptide for the experience of it, maybe just to be the encouragement that I hope that this is today for all of the beloveds, because this is not going to be the last day of this. I feel a bit of a reprieve today, a little bit of calmness, like, okay, now I've surfaced from the riptide, but now I've been washed so far out of the ocean, I've got a heck of a swim to the shore. I can see it. It's a long way. But I do feel that sense of reprieve for this moment. And interestingly enough, I looked at the Schumann and it completely matched that. It has settled down a little bit. It looked like a shred the last couple of days. Not big, huge spikes, just lots of little ones, like lasers shooting right through the meat of things, so to speak. As intended, these frequencies are happening. This is occurring. What's on the inner is being manifest in the outer. We have all made choices ahead of time what timeline we're going to be on in this part of the story, and we're being moved into those places by our higher expansive self and all of our benevolence that are assisting us in this. So we've just been moved. We were just moved a significant amount, it's almost like grabbed and ripped into it, So this is how it's been for me, and many that I've spoken to have concurred that they're feeling these things. So the message was, do not get caught up in the illusion. So what you're experiencing with your five senses, whether it be that you're sick, you don't feel well, you feel discombobulated, you're feeling anxiety, you're seeing turbulence in your outer, if everything is falling apart, like you're losing, loved ones in your circle, they're walking away from you, your job just ended, many things in the outer, whatever the illusion is handing you right now, do not believe it. Go within and hold very tightly to that I am presence that's within you, and believe the truth that there is only love. There isn't anything else. Love is the only real. And love is the fact that all of these illusionary things must fall away. And as the beautiful, warming light of the love of this vibration that you and I have been working so diligently and doing so beautifully, the warmth from that light as it melts the frozen heart of this illusionary system, it's going to go to pieces. It is going to look and feel like an iceberg that has been hit with an intense amount of heat, and it will begin to crack and snap and melt and fall apart and become not solid anymore. It will become fluid, and that will feel like it's been feeling. It's going to continue to feel like this in different waves. And the message that I received in my own heart was, do not believe the illusion. Now, I've said this before, but in this phase that we're in right now, and if you have reached spaces in your life that you understand what I mean when I say that love is the only real, if you understand that, then you know you're in a place of this understanding where you must only hold on to that. And I didn't. For a nanosecond, I didn't. I got swept into that undertow and didn't understand it for a moment. And I'm grateful, because now it has solidified my resolve, as I too am experiencing these things, that if I were to look into if I were to look into this earth story that we're in and believe any of it was causal, that it had any permanent, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, anything that was real, if I believed it was causal, had anything to do with who I am, who you are, which is that I am presence. If I believed it and I allowed myself to join my little ego mind and my the whole thing, that's the two things I was speaking of, is the little ego, which is the emotional response to the little mind that thinks that this illusion is real. And I allowed that part of me, that needed and necessary part of my physical body in this earth plane, I allowed it to have reign. And it took the reins, and because it desperately wants to, that undertow desperately wants to keep you in that space so that it can exist, so that it can only be with us. It was only in existence because of our divine creative power. And we've been for many, 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 many eons collectively creating what exists now. It is a creation. Hence, you and I, as earth characters, are a creation. We are a manifestation of that I am. And that's just how this is. So, my loves, do not allow yourself to believe the illusion. And believe me, it's going to be pulling all the stops out. Whatever can happen to try to shake you from this resolve that love is the only real. That your twin-flamed cell that you are, and I'm a cell and you're a cell, we make up the heart of God together as one. The heart of God is one. We are the cells, twin flame, both masculine and divine feminine energies. We make that up. Do not believe anything but that. And as we choose and stand with granite conviction in that, as the outer becomes the inner of the predominant frequency of the I am, which is what's predominant on this planet right now, as that occurs, the shift is going to be very uncomfortable. And many, many, many who have just now started to realize their I am presence and are waking from even a level of illusion that they held on to up until this point, because they believed that they were enlightened to their fullness, but yet the illusion falls away even more so for them, and they're waking from that dream. They're going to be drawn to you, and they will be in a state of the same thing as the undertow. It will be very chaotic. So be mindful of that, and remember that you are here. I am here. Those of us that hear this, that understand this frequency, are here at the bedside of the sleeping ones, so that when they wake, just as we had, we are there to assist them. And the only way that we can assist the heart of God in this is to remember that this melting iceberg of illusionary system, as it cracks and falls apart, is not real. Even the coming fifth dimensional energy that will create a much more gentle and balanced duality is still not real. It's another form of expression that is much more preferable than the one at hand. But yet it is still what we do as divinity. It isn't real. The divinity is what's real. Hold on to that and listen to the lifeguard when that flag goes up. Believe me, I will be watching carefully for those flags and being very mindful to watch for them and to stay above the surface until the water calms. I love you. I am grateful for you. And I'm grateful for everything this morning. For the first time for many days now, I am at peace. And that's how you know that you've reached a connection that's deep and profound with that I am that you are. Holy Spirit, there's been many terms that it's been called, but you know it because it brings peace. If you're experiencing anything else, it isn't the love that is real. It isn't the I am present. It's something else. I love you. Have a beautiful day. And I will be talking to you soon, I am sure.